Hey yo, what's going on? How you like my Spider Man? Had to get away from the pressure, the pressure, but from the inks him. I always loved the webbing under the arms, and from the '90s. Did Todd McFarlane come up with that too? Cause I always understood it like, okay, this is helping Spider Man swing and glide and whatnot. That's a pencil. Let me see. Give the Spider Man this square jaw. I usually draw my Spider Man a little more slender, but he was a little muscular in the '90s. And then the Spider Man, I ain't gonna say I grew up on, because I was watching, 80s Spider Man when I was a kid, the reruns. Spidey and his amazing friends, Firestar and Iceman. I don't know about Firestar, but they never. I don't remember them mentioning that Iceman was a mutant. What made them decide to give him some pals? Like Spider Man can't do this alone. We need to add a couple people. Tapping into the traditional marble bag. I stole this from myself. I did some big pen sketches of Spider Man, and I was so inspired I had to come home and lay it down. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, oh, look at it. Okay. Oh, how did that get there? Let's see. Drop, drop. This is probably the best Spider-Man I've ever drawn. Literally in my life. Already. I think I found my Spider-Man. It's crazy now. The theme song from Spider-Man in the '90s is playing in my head. Literally, like this is how you know you're getting excited for Spider-Man. Pause. I had a little, the little accents for the muscles before you throw the webbing in there. That's gonna confuse everything. I'm lazy. All right, that's why growing up I never drew a lot of Spider-Man because it's like he has a specific, you know, the webbing is iconic and it's a specific way to draw it, and that's just how it's done. So I kind of came up with my own lazy version of Spider-Man's weapon, and that's how I'm gonna do it. And you can hate it, you can love it. That's how I'm doing it. So I'm not doing a lot of talking in this video. I'm like locked in on Spider-Man. Gotta get the muscle definition. Pause. Pause, bro. Check out the legs. Pause. Spider-Man don't skip leg day. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's looking like. Ooh! Oh my God! Check them out. Your friendly neighborhood, man. Friendly. He's friendly. I know he's looking dangerous coming down. Could you imagine this? You're a criminal. You do your little thing, and it's not even like a supervillain, right? You're just a normal criminal. You just stole a purse. You're going on hard times. You didn't want to steal the purse. You know, it's been a couple days. You've been hungry. You lost your job. The wife kicked you out the house, you know, because you're a bum. You like, man, what am I going to do? You're like, man, I don't want to get back into crime. You know, that's how you ended up like this. You know, you started young, made some mistakes. You just got out. You got the little gig. You know, but you a dishwasher at some shitty restaurant. And the manager's on your neck. So one day you cuss him out, he kick you out the job. Let your wife know. She says she tired of your bull crap. She kick you out. Now you on the street. You've been on the street for 5 days. Like, man, what am I do? Like, all right, I gotta get back in the game. And you're like, I need a sandwich. I'm gonna start by snatching this purse from this lady. I'm not gonna hurt her. I'm just gonna run by, snatch her purse, not get something to eat. You know, hopefully God will forgive me. It's just a purse. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. You snatch the purse. You're successful. You turn the corner out into the alley, and you hear a noise. And you look up, and this is what you see coming out the sky. Dun 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 dun. The music plays. You're like, why is this music playing? I don't understand. And he just comes down, graceful and muscular, and pause, and but he's friendly. You're terrified. He webs you up, swings you around in the air, then hangs you upside down from the highest point of the fire escape. Like, we were on the ground, bro. You didn't have to sling me up here. You could have just tackled me and tied me up on the ground. No, you decided to do some acrobatics, and now, after being discombobulated, I realize I'm upside down. God knows how many stories in the air, hanging from a fire escape, covered in this sticky goo. What is this? Is this coming out of your body? you know? And it's Spider-Man. Dun, 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 dun. Thank God it's not Black Spider-Man. Not Miles Morales, but symbiote suit Spider-Man. Oh my God. He would have put me in the hospital. He would have got all aggressive like Batman. You like stealing from old ladies? I'm like, sorry, I'm having a hard time. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Spider-Man has to be unbiased. He has to stop criminals without judging why they're criminaling. Don't judge me, Spider-Man. You don't know my life, son. It's hard to keep the lights on out here in New York. You see these prices? How much eggs cost right now? Like, very proud of this Spider-Man. Very. Like I said, this is the best Spider-Man I ever drew. I'm gonna do some more. Some more. Give me some more. Was it Todd McFarlane that you know, originated the underarm webbing. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm thinking because I'm starting to picture in my head older versions of Spider-Man who had it. And was it just to look cool, or was the idea, you know, they understood that Spider-Man needed some swing support that would help him glide through the city. Even though he had the underarm webbing, I've never seen like a scene in a comic where he did that, you know, body spread like oh, I'm finna glide. I don't think I ever seen that. So even though I always thought of it as that, I always thought like, okay, that's why he has that, because he's gliding. Even though I never seen it back, you know, when I was introduced to it in the '90s, like I never seen it done. I never seen the practical use of it in the comics, and then I don't think in any animated shows he had it in the '90s. Watch me ruin this. Okay, not that bad. Here we go. My weapon make more sense to me because it's more sketchy and it look crappy. So it make more sense that a kid who made this suit, he wouldn't have like the perfect weapon design. Or maybe he would because he got the instincts of a spider. So he just sat there meticulously, just putting together Spider-Man costume. Like I said, I'm lazy. I'm not gonna sit there and draw these webs like that. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I have my reasons, which is I'm lazy. Spider-Man's feet were always an issue for me because they're not boots. He's basically just like wearing socks or stockings or something. So how do you portray that? Spider-Man has the worst costume to draw, especially if you're doing the webbing the proper way. Could you imagine drawing Spider-Man like hundreds of times, like in a comic book? Like Jesus Christ. That's why they made this black suit Spider-Man. Bro got tired of drawing on them gosh darn webs. He's like, I'm just gonna give him a black suit. And they're like, we're gonna see if this gonna take. And I guess when they wanted to go back to the traditional suit, then they had to find a creative way to just get rid of the suit. It's funny that they do that. Like they had to find narrative ways to introduce the costume change. It could never be just one day Peter Parker decided, oh, okay, I want a new costume. I'm tired of this raggedy thing. I'm gonna make a new one. And then that's how he came up with it. Okay, check it out. This is me, best Spider-Man of my life. Really dig it. Hold on, let me see something. I just want to play around. Excuse me. Maybe I shouldn't try to color this yet. Okay, I'm gonna color it, but I'm definitely gonna do the shading later. Maybe I just finish it all right now, huh? Sometimes when you move to do it, you move to do it. I don't really do fan art. I'm rarely inspired. Okay, I said before I have no interest in doing like those characters or drawing for Marvel. But man, if they let me do my own Spider-Man the way I want it, I would have to do like a limited series. They'll have to let me write and draw it. It'll just be like a standalone thing. With this is my Spider-Man with the jaw, and everything. It is kind of Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane Spider-Man wasn't my favorite, but I did enjoy it. Who draws my favorite Spider-Man? I like Joe Spider-Man, Joe Madureira Spider-Man. Uh, John Romita. Am I saying that right? I'll see. Look, I'm gonna start fucking up names, mispronouncing them. It's an artist who Spider-Man I really enjoyed. He's like a skinny, lanky Spider-Man. I don't know the artist's name. Because when I was reading Spider-Man in the 90s, it was Todd McFarlane run, and that's the Spider-Man when it comes to comics that I grew up with. So that's the art I remember. And then like the older I got, I just really didn't. I would pop into Spider-Man now and then, and it'll be a random artist. I wasn't faithfully buying Spider-Man. Sometimes I would just see a Spider-Man book I like, but I was really on X-Men. And so like when Joe was doing X-Men, I was like faithfully buying those books. I started in on Jim Lee's run. And then when I really got into X-Men, it was Adam Kubert, Carlos Pacello, I believe. And it was Joe Mad doing it. And even though I was all about the Joe Mad books, and Humberto Ramos was doing it too, and so I would still buy those guys' books too because they had great art. I mean, you can't deny it. No, I'm not even saying that Joe was better than them. It was just different styles. But it was all about the X-Men, man. Oh, this is Spider-Man right here. Let me see. Nope. Go up here. Go down here. I just want that contrast. Okay, I'm shading it now too. Into a whole Spider-Man comic book, fan fiction. Like no, not doing all that. I'm sorry. Don't let me if you like my Spider-Man. All right, that's Spider-Man. Check him out. Check him out. Check him out. The whole signature. All right, this is my Spider-Man. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy. Peace.